Good day, everyone. I'm Matt Harrison, and you are listening to the Guiricast, the Malaga fan podcast for all the Guiris out there. After the away game against Levante was rightly postponed last Monday night, by this coming Saturday night, it will have been 13 days since Malaga played a league game. But La Rosaleda will be lit up under the lights this weekend for our return to La Liga hypermotion action as we take on Cartagena late on Saturday evening. Hopefully our boys are not too disheartened after a cup defeat to near neighbours Estepona, and we can get back to winning ways like in our previous home game against Eibar as we begin this coming match day right in the middle of the league in 12th place, middle of the road. And speaking of middle of the road, I'm joined by someone who you would never describe as being middle of the road. It's my Guiricast co-host, Chris Marquez. Chris, how are you?
Very nice. Very good. I'm good. I was thinking, am I then top of the table or I'm bottom?
I think your madness, Chris, can see you so top up and down like that. It's a roller coaster with you, Chris, always.
Yeah. So how are you?
I'm very good. I was just going to check. I thought you might be a bit down after Feyenoord's result last night.
Was horrible.
But I was going to mention the Feyenoord goal was really good fun. What's his name? Anis Musa. Yeah, that was lovely.
Yeah.
But
very nice.
Otherwise, I'm very good. I'm well rested as well after an extra week off and a bit of a holiday in Barcelona, watching other teams play football for a change.
Barcelona.
Yeah, great. I love Barcelona. I know lots of people say it's too busy and they don't. It's very divisive in Spain, I think. I went to watch San Andreu last Wednesday night in their cup giant killing against Mirandés, and that was very, very good fun. But Rob, who I've met at La Rosaleda before, he's a Wigan fan who sort of supports Betis, but I think he now supports San Andreu more. He bought me a ticket and he put me right in with the bloody ultras, didn't he? So it was quite good fun, though. There was a little bit of anti-Spanish chanting towards the end because they're a very pro-Catalan club. So I just kept my head down.
It was you, 5 ultras, and anti-Spain songs.
No, I wasn't singing them. I was above all.
Did you start at the anti? No, never mind.
No chance. These guys wasn't messing with these guys. It was good fun though. I don't condone that stuff, but yes, it was a big night at San Andreu. It was one of the biggest results in recent times, which does sound a bit weird when it's against Mirandés, but understandable. It's cool football club apart from that aspect. And I went to watch Girona Saturday, which was it was a great game. I saw them beat Leganés 4-3, and it was really good fun.
Game, or are you a bit?
Pardon?
Did you think it was a really nice ground, and was it like really nice?
Yeah,
good football.
If anyone's never been to the city of Girona, definitely go. Especially if you like Game of Thrones. There's a few
to the very political answer where you say, if you've never been to the city of Girona,
I was building up to the ground. The ground's a little bit away. To be honest with you, I personally really like the ground. I don't think everyone will. It's a bit of a mess. Like it's obviously used to be. It's got like a really old stand, then like a scaffolding chucked on the end, and yeah, it's like all these different. It's like 4 different stands, really. But
is it more a mess than Cordoba, or is Cordoba still a bigger mess?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd say more of a mess than Cordoba.
That is not me.
But Cordoba feels a bit more like it feels more like a British football ground to me, Cordoba, whereas I think Girona felt more like a classic Spanish European ground. But they didn't have a very good midweek after that win anyway, because they lost badly to PSV, didn't they? But it was good. I enjoyed it. I don't think Girona is ever going to be on my list of places you have to see football. The atmosphere was a bit down, but obviously that could possibly be to do with what was happening in Spain that week. So, but yeah, it was a nice week in Barcelona. But the best stadium I visited this week was by a distance the diving centre in Montjuic, where they had the 1992 diving in the Olympics, because you can go there and there's a bar there now and it looks out onto the whole city. Yeah. I go there every time I go to Barcelona. It's cool.
And we always watch the picture. I mostly watched the best series I've ever seen on ever. Do you have Prime?
Yes.
Can you search something up for me later?
Okay, yeah.
It is called Mokro Mafia. It's a Dutch series.
Okay.
6 or 7 seasons. It's the best series I've ever seen.
Okay,
there's a guy named Pencil, a guy named Tonana. It's the Pope is the name. It's the best. It's better than what was the one about Pablo Escobar?
Narcos.
Yeah, it's better than forget Narcos. The one with the motor club. Forget everything. This is the best series you want to watch. If you have Prime, I'm not sure if it's on Prime, but everybody has to watch.
There you go. There's Chris Marquez's TV recommendation. I've been watching From on HBO. That's been very good. It's the same people who made Lost, if people like Lost. But anyway, this isn't The Rest is Entertainment with Richard Osman and Marina Hyde. This is the Guiricast. So let's get on to Malaga stuff. I guess obviously I've made a slight reference to what's happened in Spain and sort of the disasters in the Valencia area, which meant that our game against Levante was postponed this Monday, which, I think everyone will agree was the right call. That game has now been rescheduled. That game has been announced just a couple of hours before we record. That game's now going to be played at the end of November, the 27th of November, 7 p.m. It's a Wednesday night. Interestingly, I noticed it's between our games where we have a home game against Racing Santander, which obviously is going to be a tough game, and our away game against Castellón. So I'm wondering if Malaga will just stay in the Valencia area for the week, because there'll only be 3 days between the game against Levante and Castellón. So
we will see.
It makes sense to me. I don't know the cost of that, but it must be cheaper than going back and forth. But I don't know how this stuff works. But yes, for anyone that's because we should give a shout out again to I know you guys put something on social media about friend of the podcast, Kevin Quirk, and how he came to the 0-0 at La Rosaleda. What game was that? I can't remember. When we drew 0-0 2 games ago, and then he flew. That's right, yeah. And then he flew to Tenerife and watched us drew 0-0. And then he was coming to Levante, and he didn't see a 0-0 because there was no game. So just in case he wants to find out when to go again. But
Matt, did you sponsor something for Dana?
Pardon?
Did you already did something for Dana?
Yeah. Our school sent off a load of stuff from school today. So we all brought in stuff to donate, like students and teachers and parents. So that's on its way there today. I was going to perhaps mention it later, but maybe this seems perhaps a good place to do it now. I know if you want sort of more information on how to donate, I know Nick did a little about a 3 or 4 minute video, which was very good, on the Guiricast Twitter and Facebook and things like that. And it's got perhaps information on perhaps the best way to donate to that, which would be with the Red Cross. So if you're not sure, or you feel you want to do something, and perhaps especially if you're overseas, that's the best way to do it. And perhaps we'll mention it here that before the game against Cartagena this coming Saturday, Malaga are going to do a collection. So I'll just read the club statement. It's got the club through the Malaga Foundation and its collaboration with the Rapid Response Volunteer Group and Malaga City Hall will organize an initial donation collection before the upcoming match against FC Cartagena coming Saturday at La Rosaleda. The club has been in constant contact with the affected areas to channel aid as effectively as possible, and is therefore requesting cleaning products. They need brushes, mops, buckets, approximately 10 to 100 litres, shovels, and cleaning products in general. The club will announce further measures in the coming days to channel the necessary aid to the various areas affected by the Dana. So if anybody is going to the game Saturday and feels they want to do something, that's another way you can contribute by bringing cleaning products.
Yeah. So, you know what I did this weekend?
I was going to ask you because I believe you did do something.
I took a shower. And then I went to the nearest supermarket nearby. And we bought, what did we buy? Food in cans, a lot of food in cans, rice, pasta. We bought cleaning materials, toothbrushes, diapers. I don't know. We spent a lot of money.
Fair play to you.
And then we drove to Malaga, where Fondo Sur and Frente Boquerón were also organizing, how do you call it?
A collection.
A collection for the people affected by Dana. And I wrote, what I really like is a part of it went to Alora, which is a town in Malaga, which also had a lot of troubles with the rain. And was also very affected by the rain. And they did cleaning up the week before Frente Boquerón. Fondo Sur and Fondo Sur, they brought half of or part of the products to Alora, and the other half, or the other part, the bigger part, they brought to Valencia this week. So it was really great. I think it's good, and I think it's also positive to say the positive things, right?
Yeah, no, I was just about to say the same thing, because obviously, not just our fans, but the Fondo Sur / ultras and all that sort of thing sometimes get, they're seen as, I don't know, just these crazy football fans, and they've got a good reputation for doing this stuff. Obviously, they did a lot of brilliant work during COVID, and they've done other things like this. So, yeah, it's always definitely worth highlighting this brilliant work they do.
Yeah, because I think it's important. And it was
Absolutely.
fun to watch little Javi between the big guys playing. That was fun. They all really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and again, like we're just about to like talk about football again now, and obviously it's been a week since perhaps the extent of the disaster come out, and I don't want to perhaps dwell on it too much now, but again, I think actually the Spanish Football Podcast did a really good podcast sort of talking about the sort of feeling of going to watch football last week. And obviously I was in Barcelona Wednesday. I went to watch that San Andreu game Wednesday. And of course, we knew there was flooding. There was even like a red alert in Barcelona, which sort of nothing really happened when I was there. But then by the Thursday and the Friday, and the extent of the sort of, the tragedy became clear. I was a little bit like, especially when I went to Girona, and you go into football to have fun, you are a little bit like, oh, there is sort of a guilt there. I know it's.
I don't think there should be any guilt, because.
No, I know, but like, okay, so I perhaps guilt.
You should feel guilt the moment when you when it was you leaving your how do you call it, the water on your bathtub open, and that's the reason why. But now I think life goes on. How horrible it is. I'm also very stunned, and that really much touched me to see how much everybody in Spain, and even across the border of Spain, is sending money. People are really, the whole country is united to do things for the people in Valencia. And I'm lucky because we are in Malaga. I also have co-workers. I had 14 co-workers who were missing, because we also have office in Valencia. And some of them lost their houses and suffer really from big traumas.
Yeah.
After losing their houses, everything wet, losing their belongings. So I think we can only be happy. And I think it's also a reason to how do you say that?
Appreciate what
We
you've
might
got.
appreciate what we have
Mhm.
and enjoy the things we do. And I think that's the best way we can do is go to football, continue our lives,
Yeah, yeah, I
but
do.
also contribute. And that's the thing I'm ending with. It's beautiful to see how much the people of Spain are doing, and it's ugly to see what the government of Spain is doing in this situation.
Yeah. Anyway, so like you said, it's all good to continue with things we enjoy doing. So let's moving away from perhaps more serious topics to the humdrum of Malaga Club de Football. Let's go on to perhaps the other story that's emerged today that Antonito and Izan Moreno have been called up to Spain's under-19s, the under-19 squad again. I think Izan wasn't in the last squad. Antonito was. They're playing a tournament. I think it's in Kosovo, if I remember rightly. They're playing 3 games in Kosovo. They'll only miss the Zaragoza away game. I think I said my bit the last time Antonito got called up. This is all good with me. I've got no issue. I seems some
I
Malaga.
how important is the tournament in Kosovo?
Don't know, but who cares? They're playing for their country. Up to them. If they don't think it's important, it's up to them. Well, it's the Spanish FA's
It's
fault.
important for their careers to be called up, and you can't say when the head manager of Spain under that age calls you up, you can't say no, I'm not coming because I want to stay at Malaga. You don't do that.
No, but
Because
I think
then you know the next time there's a possibility they don't call you.
Exactly.
So I understand it for them, but I think how important are these Kosovo tournament things? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's getting them a feel for international football, and it's like I said, it's up to those 2 players to decide how important it is.
They should. I know that Aaron Ochoa decided not to go with Ireland, wasn't it?
No, he went last time as well.
Oh, the time before? I don't know.
I can't. Oh, I think maybe there was one. I think around the playoffs, actually, he might have not gone there. Or there was the one time he came back, didn't he? He came back a bit early, but
yeah, that was last time.
Yeah,
because we played against Cadiz, I believe. I don't know. I don't remember.
Anyway, they I think they both featured, or certainly I think Izan featured in the cup game last week against Estepona, which I was going to say, unfortunately, Malaga lost, but we could perhaps talk about that in a second. Malaga lost 3-2 after extra time. Malaga did have 10 men for a section of extra time after Sergio Castel decided to boot one of their players and got a straight red card. He did it right in front of the linesman as well. I didn't watch this game because, again, I was in Barcelona. It was played down the road in La Linea instead of Estepona because of the issues with Estepona's ground, but it sounded like it was quite a good night from people that went there. Rocco Batterini scored a header. It was a great header, actually. It was really fun, sort of powerful looping header. And yeah, Malaga hit the post as well just after that. So it could have been 2-0 and maybe a different game then. But yeah, it was. It looked like quite a good game, to be honest with you. From
Are you a bit down that we don't play Baracaldo this season?
It was funny, actually, when I was looking at places to go last week. I can't remember where Baracaldo were playing, but they were playing not far from Barcelona. And if it'd been on a Thursday night, I might have gone. I can't remember where it was now, but yeah, I was sad to miss out on a trip to the likes of Baracaldo, the legendary Baracaldo trip, which is
or not having to go near the French border to play a football match. Because I'm going to be honest, I think it's the best thing that could happen to us. Because if we play 2 weeks ago 2 matches in 1 week, and we have to rest people against Tenerife, who were bottom of the table, because players had to play 2 matches in 1 week, while the rest of Europe, I mean, if you play Champions League, you play UEFA Cup, you play Conference League, you always play your best players. But if you have to rest two players, or if you have to rest players, when you play only once, two matches in 1 week, then I think we should drop the cup. We shouldn't even have gone to La Linea to play.
No, I disagree. I think I'm not saying I'm not absolutely devastated we're out of it or anything, but the same as I felt last year, that for the people like, I don't know, like Musa played the whole game, or I think he played most of the game, if not the whole game. Carlos Lopez, especially someone like Carlos Lopez, he's probably not going to play again now until next November when we play in the cup, because Alfonso Herrero never seems to get injured. Like I think it's good for those squad players. I'm not, we're never going to win it, but especially if we're playing teams like Estepona, I just think I don't think it's a hindrance. Like, and especially, I don't know, not to go, good professional footballers, they should play as much as they could. But in the UK, like Swansea, my team, they play 46 games in a season, and they play Saturday, Tuesday, and it's not that big an issue.
And they play as well the FA Cup and
exactly. So I think this one, or what did we, last year we had 3 extra games. It's like, meh, it's not a big thing. And I enjoyed it last year. I enjoyed the Eldense game. I don't know if you remember, the Eldense game was the real sort of unveiling of Aaron Ochoa Maloney, and obviously the game against Real Sociedad was quite good fun. I enjoyed it last year. So I suppose I am a little bit gutted actually, but gutted's perhaps strong, a little bit disappointed, but like I said, I didn't watch it, so the third goal was a bit silly. They scored an absolute screamer as well. We'll have to win the cup next year instead. We go again in 2024. 2025, 2026. But anyway, you've said you're not up for the cup, Chris. So let's get on to the league action, the exciting stuff. We are playing Cartagena this coming Saturday. And Chris, I don't know about you, but I am no expert in Cartagena or many of the clubs in this league. So I think we should go to our expert from the Spanish Segunda show, Alex Fitzpatrick, who's going to give us the lowdown on our upcoming opponents.
Malaga take on Cartagena this weekend at home, and well, what a time to be playing them. They have just come into this game on the back of a 5-1 drubbing at home. They were at home to Deportivo La Coruña, and they were absolutely destroyed in that game with defensive errors all over the show. And this is a team who've picked up only 1 point in their last 6 games. The rock bottom of the table. They've only 2 victories all season. Both of those victories did come away from home, though. Jandro, the new coach, picked up a victory in his very first game with Cartagena, but since then, they haven't tasted victory again. He's changed the shape of the team to 5-4-1, but at the moment, even throwing numbers back doesn't seem to have got them organised and resolute and solid and difficult to play against. But you can bet your bottom dollar after conceding 5 goals at home that they'll have spent all week working on defending in that defensive shape. And they'll be coming to La Rosaleda to try to take a point away with a solid defensive performance. And it'll be very much on Malaga to try to break them down. Going forwards, they haven't had much joy either, Cartagena, this season. Both of their strikers are goalless all season. Ortuño and Gaston Valle, neither of them has found the back of the net in the league or in the cup this season, and that is obviously a huge part of their problem as well as leaking goals. Luis Munoz, former Malaga man, will likely play some part in this game in the midfield, but this is one that Malaga should absolutely be aiming to take all 3 points from the weakest team in the division as it stands at this point of the season. Malaga taking on Cartagena this weekend.
Thank you, Alex. And as always, if you are into your Spanish Segunda and you want to hear about all the other clubs in the league, definitely go and check out the Spanish Segunda show with Alex Fitzpatrick and Liam. So, Chris, we're going to win. It sounds easy, yes?
You remember 2 seasons ago when we went down and we didn't believe in anything, man. All our hopes were lost. And we organized this meetup. And a bunch of our listeners came. Remember?
Was that a Cartagena game?
That was Malaga, Cartagena. We went to where did we go? We started at the famous what's the name? La casa la antigua casa de guardia.
Yeah, I got it wrong.
Then we went for tapas.
We did.
Then we went for beer.
Yeah, we did those shots called something like fire bolts or something.
Yeah, we went to Morrissey's.
Yeah.
And then we went to see Malaga play against Cartagena, and all the hope came back to us.
Ah, yes. No, that was...
Sí se puede.
Because I thought we had 2 meetups, but I think you're right. That was the one, wasn't it?
That was the first one in Malaga.
Yeah, and Luke down the huge patch around.
Yeah.
And also, on that theme of previous games, we are recording this on the 7th of November, 2024. We played Cartagena away on the 7th of November 2 years ago today. 3 years ago today, it must be then. And we lost 3-1. Oh. We lost 3-1. Who scored 2 of the goals for them?
Probably a former Malaga player.
Yes, quite a renowned one. Perhaps for some people would say the wrong reasons, but Ruben Castro scored a penalty and an absolute scream of a free kick.
Oh, fuck.
And actually, we were 3-0 down. The consolation goal for Malaga, here's a name I'd forgotten about. Mathieu Pyre-Burns.
No, our French centre-back.
Yeah, he was sort of frustrating, wasn't he? I think we decided he wasn't very good in the end, but we thought he was quite good at the start. But
what we can say, Matt, Saturday night, 9:00.
Mm-hmm.
That's a proper kickoff time, isn't it?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this today because I've been for a run tonight and I've had to put like a jacket on to go running, and I was thinking, oh, it could be cold in La Rosaleda Saturday night. I've not looked at the weather forecast, but we're in November now, and none of those sort of scorching hot 9:00 kickoffs anymore. So yeah, I do like a 9:00 kickoff, to be honest.
For me, this is the best kickoff there is on a Saturday night.
I like it a little bit earlier, but I do like a 9:00.
I love a 9:00.
But yeah, like from what Alex has said there, like Cartagena having a disastrous season. Like he said, they've only won 2 games all season. They've both been away from home, though, from what I gather, against El Dense. And they did beat top of the league Racing, I noticed. And they drew against Elche. Obviously, we struggled against. They've also just scraped past a Tercera team in the cup. Forgive me, I can't remember. I think they called something like Bessian or Bencian. But, that means nothing. We've just been eliminated by a lower league team. I also realized I've seen one of their players play twice already this season. Not live, but I've watched 90 minutes of one of their players twice already.
This season?
Yeah, in the last couple of months.
You always come up with these strange questions which nobody can answer.
It's my job to find these strange, weird links. So I'll say it. Their centre-back or defender, I think he was a centre-back when I saw him play, Nikola Sipcic was the defender for Montenegro when Wales have beat them twice in the past few months. And Harry Wilson's given him a hard time. So sadly, we have no Harry Wilson. We're going to need David Larrubia to be our... I think he's the one that's most like Harry Wilson. But yeah, I have seen him play against Wales twice on TV in probably the past 3 months. One of them, the wettest game of all time in the rain. But yeah, and what did I find anything else fun?
Luis Munoz?
Yeah, and actually, Alex said there he's expected to play a part. I believe he is not going to be at La Rosaleda. I've read today he's picked up a muscle injury. So I was going to ask, what what are our thoughts on Luis Munoz these days? Because obviously, when we started the podcast, Chris, that was sort of at the height of Luis Munoz fever, and we're like, please, we hope he stays at Malaga. And then there's the amazing video with his abuela saying like, oh, he's staying. It was like a big deal, but sort of looking back now, it never really worked out in the end, did it?
Matt, if we are being honest, I mean, the other guys joined later. We started the Guiricast from its beginning. You and me are the two founders.
Mm-hmm.
Since we're doing the Guiricast, was there one season where you thought, wow, we have really good players, we have a really good team? Was there one season? Except last season, you can't accept.
I can give you a good answer here because I think the cat's out of the bag a bit now. I did spend my summer writing a book, and it has made me reflect on my time with Malaga, not just last season. And I did realize, it did make me think. There's a bit in the book where I talk about one player in particular, and I was like, he's probably the only one that I really just think was utterly brilliant and is always utterly brilliant. And that's Ramon. And very sadly, he's been robbed from us through injury. I believe he was meant to play against Estepona, but he picked up an injury not long before. But yeah, he's the only one. I just think he is he's the best player I've seen in a Malaga shirt. And obviously, I've not been around that long, so I didn't have much to choose from.
Yeah, but if we're honest, I mean, when we started the Guiricast, we were shit.
Yeah, I think it was something to do with me.
No, not at all. But till last season, or also including last season, because we played third division, we have shitty teams. I mean, and it's easy for a player to stand out in a shitty team. That doesn't make him Lamine Jamal, or doesn't make him Mbappe. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. Luis Munoz is not.
No.
I don't know, Busquets, is he?
For the record, I should quickly throw in there, of course, Roberto and Alfonso Herrero were incredible.
Yeah, but they're great. No, they're great players, but in a shitty team.
Before someone goes, I can't believe you didn't say those two.
No, but
I agree.
If you look, I mean, Yanis Romani stood out in a season where we were very shit. The same counts for, I don't know, Tete Morente.
Oh, he was brilliant.
He was good, but he wasn't brilliant, man. Let's be honest.
He was the first winner of Guiricast Player of the Season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then that's also a season where we
just about stayed up.
Where we stayed up with, was it against Deportivo La Coruña? And they went down.
Yeah. Do you remember Juanpe's wonder goal? Oh.
Yeah, but that's I mean, I think who was it who scored that night?
Juanpe scored the goal, and there was the Tete Morente ballet goal.
Yeah, the Tete Morente ballet. And that was the night I was on my bike to work, because I remember that we played against Deportivo La Coruña and we won against them. And that gave us the safe spot.
Yeah.
So we have been shite since we started. So, yeah, coming back to Luis Munoz.
Yeah, I was wondering why we...
I mean, in a bunch of garbage, you will always find that IKEA closet that does its work, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then it's still a used I don't know.
I don't know. He was quite young, so I don't know if we can use the old thing. I don't know.
You know what I mean?
He did have a bad injury, didn't he? Quite young, and he never quite. He was pretty much nailed on to be club captain, wasn't he? And
did you ever buy something at the Spanish Chinese shop?
Yes.
It looks okay when you're in the shop, but when you bring it home, when you get home, it falls apart in 1,000 pieces. And the worst thing with those shops is, is that although you know it's bad quality and it will fall in 100 pieces once you arrive home, you still always go back to that shop and still buy things.
Yeah, the
That's a bit
alimentaciones.
Malaga for the last 4 seasons.
Yeah, I suppose so. Because I suppose things from those sort of shops are quite. I'll just get it quickly just to see me through for a little bit. It won't last. Yeah, I guess it's quite a good analogy. We've sort of gone all over the place from IKEA to the shops you find in town there.
Well, but I mean, I've seen. I mean, you support Malaga now 5 seasons because you're now 5 years in Spain.
This is year 6, but yeah.
Year 6. I mean, I've been a Malaga fan for 25 years. I've seen Isco play in La Rosaleda. I've seen Tulalam play in La Rosaleda. And I've now been watching for over the past 10 years. I've seen it go. I've seen the biggest downfall I've ever seen with a football club.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask me what I think of the players of the last 4 seasons,
well, you see, I'm the complete opposite because I've got this weird affection for them because they're sort of the players I've, like, in a way, sort of grown up with as a Malaga.
Yeah, in your Malaga, yeah, I know.
So I'm like a little kid with these, like, even though when they crap, like I try to find joy in them. So I think, like, in my head, Juanpe's Leo Messi and Kevin's Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But anyway, actually, the thing I was going to ask, actually, and then sort of got sidetracked with that, if Luis Munoz did come back, would he get a good reception? I think he'd be okay, wouldn't he? But I don't know.
He left us in the season we went down, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. I don't know which player that season will get a warm welcome.
True.
Did Alex Febas get a warm welcome?
He got a mixed one, I found. I think he got booed by some people, and then I think actually some people cheered over the boos a bit. But yeah, it wasn't like, a standing ovation or anything. But yeah, I suppose he's the only one, apart from maybe some of the young ones that hang around.
But when we played that season with him, we thought he was like Luka Modric.
Yes.
But if you're looking back now,
no. And also, by the way, just going back to what Alex said about Cartagena not having their strikers not scoring goals, Luis Munoz is actually their top goal scorer with 2 goals.
That's a good thing of him, because I remember at Malaga he also scored.
He could hit it, couldn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's Cartagena. There's some real deep insight into Cartagena from us there. Let's go to Malaga then. First of all, I don't know if you saw this. I meant to mention this later. Have you seen about the maledición after the cup?
The what?
The curse. How do you say maledición?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
like
what curse?
The
break curse, or are we having a curse now?
We're trying to break a curse. Apparently, in the last, I think it's 6 seasons, the game we've played after we've been eliminated, we don't win, and we usually lose. I think we've drawn 1. So we haven't won a game since we were eliminated for the cup since 2016. So that's the one we're trying to beat here. That's
not really hopeful, Matt.
No, well, that's what I was thinking when Alex was saying, like, how useless Cartagena were last week and stuff. You think, oh, you sort of rub your hands with glee, and then you think, but actually, it'd be very Malaga to slip up here, wouldn't it?
I mean, I've seen us play against Tenerife, and I think that's the same level as Cartagena this season.
Suppose so.
And that wasn't very pretty either.
Do you think we would have benefited from having that, extra week off, or that extra like 9 days off? I guess obviously
I don't think that helps. I don't believe that, because if you play constantly, you stay more match fit and more focused, maybe.
Yeah, no, I think I agree. I can see I don't know if I agree. It's a bit of both, isn't it?
If you, because you're a teacher,
okay.
You have long summer holidays.
Yeah, I know where this is going, and I'd agree, actually. So
the first week after summer holidays, is that the best week of the year, or is that the worst week of the year?
it's usually you sort of, because the first few days it's all like just sorting things out. It's usually like the second week back, it feels like you've been hit by a truck. And also, here's a bit of, if anybody wants to do some psychoanalysis on me, I have this weird dream all the time that if I've had like long time off work for holidays, particularly after the summer holiday, and I always remember, and I've had this dream loads of times, where I wake up in the morning and I can't find my shoes for work. And it's always the same. It's really weird. That's like this anxiety dream, but it's always my shoes, which isn't really a big deal. But
yeah, you can always in Spain you can go barefooted to work.
Yeah.
So maybe you should remember that next time you have that dream.
Yeah,
it's no
but
problem.
Anyway, but yes, I'd agree that you do have to feel your way back in. There's no pre-season in teaching.
I mean, I have it every weekend. Every Monday morning, I'm hit by a truck.
Well, I think a lot of people have that Monday morning, don't they?
But not the truck. But the truck doesn't continue. The truck is going and then drives back and gedung over me. And then he does that 20 times.
Anyway, let's go to the starting 11 for Malaga to finish off. I'm going to be honest with you, Chris. I looked back at the team that played against Eibar, and I'm pretty happy to keep the same team, apart from maybe getting Victor back in for Dani Sanchez. That would be... Oh, no, sorry. There was one other change I debated. So just for those that don't remember, it'd be obviously Herrero in goals. I'd stick with Joaquin. I thought he was good. I think I keep saying how much I like Alex Pastor, but I think Monte and Einar were so good in that Eibar game, it'd be rude to drop them. Then get Victor in. And then the centre midfield, we had Dani Lorenzo, Luismi, and Manu Molina. Dani Lorenzo's not doing it for me, and I'm really enjoying Izan at the moment. That would be the only change I'd like to make, but then I thought about it. Is it too defensive? I don't know.
How typical is it for a player to go out on a loan to Merida, plays there like the next Andres Iniesta, best player of the season, the biggest talent of Primera RFF. He returns to Malaga, and I don't recognize him.
I thought he was very good the second half of last season. I think he was really good, especially in that bit between like Christmas and March. I thought he was excellent, actually. I think it all sort of fell apart a little bit for him when he gave his shirt away, the 50 euro one.
Yeah.
But I do. I think there's a brilliant player in there. I just don't. I wouldn't start him at the moment. I think
we have loads of players who had a brilliant start.
Yeah, Luis Munoz.
Yeah, Luis Munoz, for example. What was Ismael Casas?
Yeah, I liked him. He was captain for a bit, bizarrely.
Yeah. I mean, how many of these players did we have? So many, and they all end up beside.
We were calling Andres Caro the new Franco Baresi for about about 2 weeks.
Yeah,
yeah, but I really
the one of last season, Calvo.
Yeah, Calvo. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, like I and then I guess the other. Well, you can tell me what you think in a minute of your starting 11 if you disagree with anything. In the game against Eibar, we started with Kevin, Dioni, and La Rubia up top, like, with those wingers behind him. And I thought La Rubia is excellent. I thought Kevin was good, but sort of fell flat a bit. And Dioni's obviously seems to be our only striking option that's really, really claiming it for himself. But then I think there's a bit of a debate. Would you drop Kevin for Antonito? Now Antonito's seemingly back.
That's a difficult choice you're giving there.
Even the Kevin fanboy in me is struggling there, but my gut is telling me I'd pick Antonito at the moment, to be honest with you, because I think Kevin's been good. But
I think Kevin has been good against Eibar, to be honest.
Yeah, he was. I think Antonito's just a bit more.
I think Kevin did a lot of defensive work against Eibar.
He always does.
He always does. But
Hashtag the Matt Harrison wingback theory.
yeah, I said that once, didn't I?
Yeah, I think I said it as a joke, and then I was like, oh no, actually, that could work.
I think I would go with that option if I'm
But
honest.
I think
That's the way you can play them both.
Oh, that'd be fun. Anthony, you'll go in left. Kevin playing
because
a
again, I even think Kevin is better as a winger, or sorry, as a back.
Kevin as a false 3.
Yeah, I think that's his position. I think he's better in that.
No, I think he's no, but he is good at it. I don't think I'm not saying you're completely barking mad to say it. We'll see. Maybe if you're listening, pay your say and want to try something really mad.
I mean, those are the things he should have tried against Estepona.
Kevin as a left back.
Yeah. but you're laughing.
No, I'm laughing. Like in the idea.
Louis van Gaal at the World Cup started with Dirk Kuyt as a right back.
Yeah, true. He has. Yeah, there's a couple. The Malaga total football.
And that's even more strange because you're putting a striker at the right back position.
I'll tell you what, I think, put Nelson Monte as centre back and put Manu Molina as a libero next to him playing passes. We could go full on Dutch football here. I like it. Make it happen.
I think it's a good option to play Kevin as a back. I would definitely.
To be honest with you, I'm not disagreeing with you in many ways, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. I just can't see it.
If I was Malaga's manager, I would have tried.
I have no doubt about that. But yeah, there you go. Let's get the campaign going. Although I don't want to see Kevin as a left back, really. I think that's just a theory. I want to see him up the pitch and taking
people. How
people.
beautiful is it to have Cordero and Kevin on the same side? They could do switch.
Well, the other thing I think again, it initially started as a Kevin as a false 9 idea, but I know the boys mentioned on the podcast before, I even had the chance to spring my Antonito as a false 9 theory, but they beat me to it. So that's the other one, I think. But anyway, Dione seems to have that place for himself at the moment. Is there anyone else you would particularly like to see in there? I don't know. Would you like to see Alex Pastor back in and not Einar or Monte?
I think that's a difficult choice.
Me too. That's the one I struggle with the most.
Yeah. I am certain that I want to see Luis Me. Yeah, that's the player I really want to see.
That's why I think when I said about Izan, I think it's a bit too defensive with them two. And if I had to pick one, it'd be Luis Me at the moment.
Or I would start with Musa as a defensive midfielder.
Oh, we are going crazy, aren't we? But I know we've said that before. I think he could do that. But I think I don't think Musa's Pellicer just does not fancy it, does he, with him? I don't know why.
I really love Musa because I think he is a copy of Alfred Ndiaye in his good moments. So not in his bad season, in his good seasons.
Well, again, that's why the cup was useful last year, because Musa was brilliant in the Real Sociedad game, wasn't he? And
we didn't see him afterwards anymore.
Pellicer kept saying, I'm sorry, yeah. I don't play. He's so great.
I'm sorry I don't play Musa, he's so great.
Well, anyway, actually, just before we finish, Alex Pastor, if anybody wants to learn a bit more about him, although it wasn't that insightful, really. He's done an interview with El Desmarque today or yesterday, and yeah, it was quite interesting. But the bit I liked in it is they asked him, "What do you think of the players at Malaga? Who's the player that stands out?" And he goes, "I've never seen anything like Alfonso Herrero." He says, so I can't remember exactly what he says, but he was like, "I couldn't believe it."
Do you know who the funny guy is of the team?
Apparently David LaRubia, I've heard. Yeah. Which I cannot see that at all. But
me neither. But he's the funny one of the dressing room.
Because Kevin's the one you see in all the videos doing all the practical jokes, and being very Kevin. But yeah, apparently it's La Rubia's and I think they wind up. I think they always used to wind up as Scassi was the one they used to target a lot, apparently. But I think that was I think they stopped making jokes that season when we were
when things weren't so good.
Okay, Chris, I think we're done with previewing that game. Is there anything you feel you want to get off your chest before we go?
Go and watch Mokro Mafia on what was it, Prime? If it's there, you're going to look if it's on Prime.
Okay. And then you go and check out the upcoming Chris Marquez Movie Club podcast.
No, but I think it's good to do because I think it's fun to give an idea at the end of the podcast. Maybe we should introduce that we all bring up one idea every week where we say, I've read this book, it's a good book. I watch this show, it's good. I think it's fun.
Okay.
There's more than a Guiricast in life.
Yeah. Well, I do send a lot of podcast recommendations to people.
Yeah, so you could do that every week. And this week, my recommendation is Mokro Mafia on Prime. Which one is yours this week?
Well, I've been watching lots of From on HBO, which is very good.
So if you don't know where you're from, go and check it out on HBO.
Okay. There you go. So thank you. I should say as well, I don't know if there's a live stream yet. Usually Saturday 9 o'clock. I know the guys do quite like to do one, but I don't want to put pressure on them there. So keep an eye on the socials to see if there is a live stream. Me and Chris will be at La Rosaleda. So I'm sure I'll see you outside.
Are you doing a Vamos? I don't want to put any pressure on you either.
I haven't really thought about it. I'll think about it. I was thinking of maybe doing one next time people are over, but
okay.
But yeah, I will see you at Baramanos Madrid on Saturday. And if you are in Malaga, we'll see you there too. But I'll finish by saying thank you, Chris Marquez.
Thank you, Mayor Harrison. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Yes, thank you guys for listening. Go and check us out on all the social medias at Guiricast Pod, and I'm sure you'll find if you type in Guiricast, you'll find us. Subscribe on all the podcasts, follow us on subscribe on YouTube. Sorry, I've got that wrong.
That one is important.
Yeah, give us a 5-star review on podcast things. That's the one we need to push more, I think.
Okay.
Do that. Don't give us 1 star, only 5. And we'll see you soon. Adios. Vamos Malaga.